Welcome, my name is Mark Faisal and I'm with Full Stack Central, and today I am going to go a little into why Laravel. Many of you may have heard of Laravel. It's a PHP framework and it is changing the dynamics of full stack development in 2025. There's so much that Laravel in its core has to offer. There's a lot of similarities to things like Ruby on Rails or other traditional model view controller frameworks and other just technologies in general. So we're going to just touch the surface on this, but this is going to be a series that we're going to kick off that really dives deep into why Laravel for a full stack or even a backend programming language. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Why Laravel? Laravel simplifies PHP coding. So it has this elegant syntax with it. It allows you to write clean, readable syntax code that makes development much easier, faster, and honestly, it makes it more enjoyable. For me, I love clean coding. That's one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to development. So any way I can improve that syntax, that's a win for me. I've even found, if you've read that book, I think it was a Java book by Robert C. Martin on clean code or clean coding or something along those lines. It's written from the perspective of Java, but it really solidifies how one should start thinking about the way that they develop their coding to make it easier for not just yourself, but for other developers that are reviewing it, or maybe working within it, that type of mentality. But I've even translated that into my everyday JavaScript development, and now even PHP and other backend or front-end development languages as well. So Laravel really simplifies that PHP coding. Eloquent ORM. So Laravel's Eloquent ORM makes database interaction very seamless. I don't know about you, but writing SQL can get a little mundane and a little complex at times. So having a really nice engine, a really nice interface where you can just write that SQL within your PHP environment and then migrate that into your database just makes it much better from a user experience perspective, and allows you to enjoy an expressive, intuitive syntax for writing those queries. Now this one has to be my favorite. Being a front-end developer by nature, I love having a clear front-end templating engine. And Blade Templating Engine does just that. So you can craft your dynamic front-end views effortlessly with Blade's lightweight and powerful templating engine. This makes really developing in PHP much cleaner, much easier. It has a nicer syntax. Again, it goes back into that elegant syntax aspect, but it even removes the need for certain front-end tools. In the latest version of Laravel, we can actually tie in with Livewire, which is very similar to Rails' Hotwire, or we can even use, I think it's called Inertia, and craft our dynamic interfaces with React or Vue. So it really seamlessly integrates all of these components and all these different technologies into one platform, which really makes it more compelling. I've seen so many different architectures where it's relied on so many different moving pieces, where you may have an API backend, you may have a middle layer backend, then you may have your front end backend or your front end itself. So you could end up having 3 or 4 different applications just powering one website. Laravel has really done a great job combining all those pieces together, so you're no longer having to split your code base into all these different sections. But at the same time, you can still keep that model view controller, you can keep that separation of layers intact, you can really have a nice seamless experience, but still maintain separation. So that's one of the main benefits I love about Laravel. modern features. So creating RESTful routing to build in your authentication security, that is a huge aspect when it comes to Laravel. Laravel keeps your application as a cutting edge application, so you're able to do more with less. It's always being updated. There's the community behind it is very strong, and it's only grown over the years. And while I haven't been in it for a long time, I came from Cake PHP and CodeIgniter. Laravel has one of the bigger foundation, I guess you could say, for their team and the community itself behind it. So they're always innovating and building in new features. It reminds me very much more like how Rails has picked up steam over the years, even Python. So if you're looking for a really strong modern technology that can power your front end and your back end, and you want something that has a very easy learning curve, check out Laravel. I encourage that. You will not find something that's more easier to get started in. I myself started with PHP when I got started in web development and software engineering. And while yes, PHP has been strictly known as a scripting language, Laravel has made it feel more like your traditional programming language. And it's because of that delineation and the way that they've implemented that model view controller. So you have your model, which interacts with your database, and you have your controller, which basically interacts between your model and your view. And then you have your view layer, which is your front end piece. It really has a nice separation, but also a lot of control built in. And there's even a lot of like built-in aspects that you can easily get up and running real quick. I believe there's even some bootstrap code that you can just quickly build out, like that basic Laravel application with a lot less overhead as it may take building out, let's say, a C# backend and then an Angular front end. So I definitely encourage you to check out more about Laravel if you haven't used it before, if you haven't really dove into it. So Laravel, it's definitely the framework of choice for developers worldwide, and it's becoming that more and more. We are seeing more people shifting to Laravel from other frameworks or from other backend technologies or other libraries. So I encourage you, definitely take a look at it. Maybe start building your next app today with Laravel. I know I'm personally starting to migrate some of my stuff over into Laravel. It's been a while since I've used it, but since I've been diving back into it, I found it more and more useful and more intriguing and enticing to use, especially as a front-end developer by nature, but also having more of a full stack and back-end development perspective as well. So I definitely encourage it. Hope this was helpful. If you liked it, please like, share, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you guys so much. And like I said, my name is Mark with Full Stack Central. Have a good day.